Good afternoon. It is afternoon, right, guys? It's afternoon, I think. Yes, in Barbados, it is now 12:38 p.m. I almost said a.m. Happy New Year. Is an exciting time to be alive. A lot of things happening all over the world. A lot of changes in markets all over the world. A lot of new cultures in relation to earning being created in people's mindsets. You know, a lot of major opportunities opening up across the globe so that you can earn additional money. One of the things I want to say to you really is that the internet has made an amazing way for individuals to be able to earn additional money, have viable streams of income, multiple streams of income. You just need to be able to tap into that, get the knowledge as to how to do it, and just do it. Just do it, just get it done. The world is no longer a place where you have to just go after a traditional job alone. Those things are important, but there are multiple opportunities where you can just go after non-traditional jobs, particularly on the internet. What am I talking about today? As I look across the country, as I look across the world, this is one of the major issues that people are facing. It is jobs, right? A lot of people don't have jobs, and even when they have jobs, they are not paying them enough money. Okay? A lot of people have a job, but it's not paying them enough money. And what people normally do is that in order to make more of this, they begin to increase the number of these. So many people, even though they have one job, they're looking for another job. But the challenge with that is that there are only 24 hours in a day, and there's only one you. Okay? So, jobs are scarce, money's scarce. In order to make more money, people are getting more jobs, but it's only 24 hours and one of you. And the reality is, let me just take this off the board because I don't have a lot of space, right? The reality is, in this time, is that things are going up. So here's what's happening to a lot of people. Just want to show you this. Here's what's happening to a lot of people that I know. I don't know if this is happening to anybody that you know, but this is happening to a lot of people that I know. Okay? You have money. You're working. Your job is giving you money. Right here, you buy things. And those things might be your car, might be your food, rent. There the phone goes. There are other things that you may be buying, okay? And you can name the clothes. There are other things that you're buying. People are buying a lot of things. The challenge is that these things here, okay, gas, bills, there are a lot of bills. Thanks, Myron. That's Myron in the background. You'll see him in a couple of minutes. Exciting young man. He's also taking advantage of opportunities and making some additional money. So here's what happens. Here's the challenge. These increase. So food is going up. Rent is going up. Clothing is going up. Gas is going up. I just went to the gas station. Listen. And I put, I think it was, I put close to $100 in my car, and it pushed it just beyond half. And it's crazy, right? Bills are going up. All these things are going up. Why? Because these people are also trying to make a living. Okay? The challenge with all these things going up is that your money is not going up. Okay? So you're having inflation and your money is not going up. So when your money is not going up, what most people do, as I said before, is that they get another job. Okay? But in a market where jobs are scarce and time is limited, that becomes challenging. So the issue now becomes the money. And you ask yourself the question, if all these things are increasing, if my bills are increasing, if the cost of my food is increasing, the cost of my rent is increasing, the cost of my clothing is increasing, the cost of surviving in this world is increasing. Many people several years ago, they lost their homes because what? They didn't have enough money. Many people are not buying what they want because they don't have enough money. Many people are sending their children to school without school meals. Why? Because they don't have enough money. Many people would love to change their clothing, but they can't do that because they don't have enough money. That's the issue. The issue really is this. So, in a market where there are limited jobs, you cannot get another job, what do? Now, I want to show you how you can earn some additional money. You can't necessarily control this. You can't control a man increasing the bills, or the food, or the rent, or the clothing, or the gas. You can't control these things. But you can control your earning capacity. And I want to talk to you today about shifting your mindset. Because very often what prevents individuals from earning more is not the availability of opportunities, but the fact that they have the wrong mindset. And that mindset, because it's the wrong mindset, doesn't cause them to look in the right places. So I want to show you today, in a couple of minutes, where you can look, and then ask you just to contact me for some more information. I'll give you some more information, right? But I don't want to. I can't pack all that into this meeting today. When that guy calls back, just answer that phone. Sorry about that. So I want to show you how to earn some additional money and really be able to afford these things. Down here is inflation, okay? And I'm meeting many people who are very, very tired because they're extending themselves to the point where they're exhausted and they're still not making enough of this. So if you're that person, if you've extended yourself to the point where you're still not making enough money, you're worn out. Listen, here's what's happening. Just keeping all this on the board here. Okay? I'll make sure that this is right. No, this on the board. So I want you to follow me. Just follow me here. So for some people, in order to make more money, and I want to emphasize that, they're doing more jobs, but here's what you're sacrificing. You're sacrificing time. Now for money. Okay? Because as I said, there are only 24 hours in a day. So what is being sacrificed? Time with, you guys can see this good, right? Good. So time with your children. Time with your spouse. Do I have that right? S-P-O-U-C-E?
S-E.
S-E, thank you. That would be spouse. Okay? Time with yourself. And just time to rest. And I can go on and on and on. You're sacrificing time. All these things are being sacrificed so that you can make money. And very often you're making money so that you can give money to these things. Give money to your children, give money to your spouse, give money to yourself maybe in the form of a treat or medical bills, give money to yourself in the form of rest, maybe a vacation. All these things are connected. Okay? So it really ends back up on money. Now we make choices to earn money based on what we know. We make choices to earn money based on what we know. I just want to educate you today. So we want to earn money. We've been taught how to earn money in specific areas. I want you to get all this because I'm going somewhere with this. So just be patient with me. So here's what happens. Remember, the goal is to earn more money because cost of living is increasing. You want to enjoy yourself. You need more money. So we've been educated in a specific way. We go to school, and everybody should go to school and get a good education. We go to school, and we're educated to work generally in a traditional type of job. A traditional type of job generally is 8 to 5 or 8 to 4. Okay? 8 to 5 or 8 to 4. The traditional job, at the end of the week or the end of the month, you get what is known as wages or salaries. Once a year, okay, you're entitled to a vacation. Some people split it up depending on where you're working. Once you're entitled to a vacation. And that's how you live your life. And they tell you, you can get extended rest at this word called retirement. This is when you're entitled to extended rest. And now at retirement, generally all over the world on average, retirement is at age 65. You can still see all this, right guys?
Yeah.
Right. Retirement is at age 65 years old. At age 65 years old, what we hope is that we have accumulated enough money to go on extended rest. We have accumulated enough money to now begin to afford, excuse me, can I have some more? To now begin to afford the beaches, to now begin to afford all these things. We now have time. The challenge is that when you hit 65, generally, your retirement income is either half or quartered, right down to 25%. In some cases, half, 50%, quarter, 25% of your income. So, you remember earlier I talked about the clothing and the cars and the food, etc. Now imagine on just about 100% of your income, okay, income, you were barely affording these things. And now you're down to 50% or 25%. It's why a lot of people, when they hit 65, they are traumatized. Because traditionally, if you follow the traditional pattern of how we were educated to earn, you're going to have an issue if that is the only thing that you do. So you hit retirement, and you find yourself not having enough disposable income, residual income, remember that word, residual income, to sustain your lifestyle. You've worked hard, you went to school, you worked hard, you got a good education, you got a pretty good job, but you only work for that amount of money. You never had a residual income. And I want to write this on the board because I want you to remember this word. We can see this blue well, right? I want you to remember this word. I'm going to put it right in here on the money. Residual income. We were never really taught to do this because our only concept of doing this still falls within the traditional form of education. So for us, our residual income was a job which required a lot more time and sacrificing children, rest, and all those things, time with our spouse, etc. So it wears you out. So we were never taught non-traditional ways of making residual income. So I'll come back to that in a minute because that's going to be very important. So at 65 now, you're told you can retire. They give you an armchair, television, whatever they give you, and they send you home to do what? You don't have enough money to travel. You don't have enough money to enjoy your life. You don't have enough money to do the things you want to do. So here's what happens. Most people, quite a number of people at 65 years old, with a lot of experience, they've retired. Here's what happens. I'm going to just take this stuff off the board here. Okay, I'm going to leave residual. I'm going to have to put that back. I was just enthusiastic about talking to you. So I rub that off. Right? Let me put that back. Residual income. So most people at the age of 65 years old, okay, in retirement, just write that there, right? In retirement, what do they do? Okay, because they do not know. I have 65%. Why do I have that? They do not know what to do, and the only thing that is swirling in their head is the traditional form of earning additional money. So what do they do at retirement? 65 years old, they go out and they get another job. The challenge is that nobody's going to pay them for their experience, and nobody's going to generally pay them for their education. They're not going to pay them to do that. So they take a job, and that job now demands more of them physically because they're 65 years old. Okay? And they do not have the energy, they do not have the strength to do what they did when they were 30 years old. So they take a job, and when they're supposed to be retiring and enjoying life, they now have to be working an additional job to pay bills. And this is what happens in many cases, because we do not have an adequate, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So I want you to get this here. We do not have an adequate residual income plan. So let me explain to you what an adequate residual income plan is. An adequate residual income plan, adequate residual income plan is a plan that can keep pace, has the possibility built into it that can keep pace with inflation. In other words, the capacity to earn from this residual income plan is not capped by a boss. Okay? I want you to understand that. So, it is not enough to have residual income. Traditionally, they tell you, in order to get residual income, get an additional job, but you're just having another boss who you will never be paid more than him. Okay? What I'm proposing that you consider is an adequate residual income plan that can keep pace with inflation. So, you know, next year the chicken goes up, the gas goes up, it's more expensive to buy food. In general, the school fees go up. Well, are you going to get another job and another job and another job? No, you can't do that. So you have to be, I'm trying to change your mentality. You have to have a plan that can, that has the possibility of keeping pace with inflation and even outrunning inflation. And you also build into that adequate residual income plan needs to be a component where it is dependent on your learning curve to earn. In other words, your ability to earn now is transferred mainly to you and not to other people. Your ability to learn is transferred mainly to you. So as long as you can begin to take, let me just write this here, as long as you can begin to take control, that's a very important word. As long as you can begin to take control, we can see this, yes? Guys, we can see this probably. Right. As long as we can begin to take control of our earning capacity, as long as we can begin to take control of our, you can see it, but the writing is bad. Right? But as long as you can begin to take control of your earning capacity, then you're on your way to having an adequate residual income plan, which can deal with inflation, is not capped by your boss, right? And you begin to control that earning capacity. But there's also another component, important component, to developing an adequate residual income plan, and that is that it is not dependent on any single economy. So that residual plan is no longer dependent on any single economy. Because if it is dependent on this, okay, then you still have an issue. So you want to have a residual plan that is tied to many economies, okay, and keeps pace with inflation, is not capped by a boss, and you can control your earning capacity. So in order for you to earn more, you learn more. Okay? You don't have a boss that will tell you you cannot earn no more than me. You don't have a single economy that can wreck it based on the decisions of government or ministers or whoever makes the decisions, and it keeps pace with inflation. These are the components that I believe would make an adequate residual income plan, not just a residual income plan, but an adequate one. Now, traditional education in our schools does not teach us how to develop this. So one of the things that is also involved in residual incomes is that, you know, people tell you about insurance, these things are important, a health plan, these things are a retirement plan, etc. But many of these things, you can control the earning capacity, they may keep pace with inflation when you retire, they're not capped by a boss. So if you have, and these are also important investments, so if you have, you know, apartments, you may start a business, a traditional business, You might have the insurance plan, the endowment plans. You may have mutual funds. You might have a lot of those things. Okay, but the challenge is all of those things, right, are impacted by this guy here. Okay, all those things I just mentioned. So traditional education will tell you, you know, if you want to retire and be comfortable, build your apartments, start a business, save some money, you know, make an investment in mutual funds, you know, get a retirement plan from an insurance company. You know, all those things are very, very important. Not knocking those things. I'm saying that that's not adequate, because those are impacted by this factor. And how do we know this? You talk to many people who have all of those things I just said. They have their business, they have their mutual funds, they have all those things, but the economy is giving them trouble. So now they realize that this fella up here is drawing out, and all of the things that they planned, are now being affected by a slow growing economy and dwindling, you know, foreign exchange, you know, not enough investment coming into the island. These are things that happen in our country. They can happen in other countries. You know, people are no longer coming to the shores as tourists as they used to, etc., etc., etc. Right? So this is the guy that happens to many people who have grand plans. So, how do you fit all of those components into one thing that I want to introduce you today to help you to develop an adequate residual income plan that keeps pace with inflation, where you can control your earning capacity, is not capped by your boss, and is not controlled by a single economy, and is a part of all the other things that can cause you to become financially free if you're willing to work at it, you know, free up your time and do so many other things that help you to accomplish your dreams. What are we talking about? Well, let's talk a bit about, now I'm enjoying this. Thanks, guys. Those guys are the guys that I was talking about, the guys that are behind there, give me some support. You know, just nodding their head, letting me know that I am on track here. This number is a very important number. Remember, we are talking about residual income. But not just residual, but adequate residual income. Okay? So, this number is important. Please pay attention. This number is important. 2087. That's not a year. That number is approximately the amount of billionaires, when I last checked, that are on the face of the earth. Billionaires. Okay? Now, there are 7.7 billion people in the earth. Of these 2,087 billionaires, it said that the top 50 of them could solve world hunger and still have money, adequate money in their pockets. Please understand this. These 2,087 billionaires, it said, generally make their money from 10 top industries. I'm not going to go through all 10 of those, but 10 top industries. And the number one industry that they make their money from, listen to this very carefully, is, I'm going to write this right on here, on the residual income, is financing, I want you to get that, and investing. Financing and investing. Let me just get some water here. Financing and investing. So, the people in the world who are making money and leaving generational wealth are making their money from financing and investing. Financing and investing. They're not going out and getting an additional job. They're not following traditional patterns. They're getting involved in financing and investing. Well, you might say, well, you know, I don't really have that much money to invest. These people are billionaires. Most of these billionaires didn't start as billionaires. You can do that research. Most of them did not start as billionaires. So I'm going to rub off this financing and investing here, because you can replay the video and you can see all that. And I'm just going to leave it with this word, investing. Because this is a word that's banged about a lot, investing. And many people think that it is difficult to invest. And you say, well, what do I invest in? And those are reasonable questions. What do I invest in? How much do I invest? How can I learn more about investing? Who do I trust? Who don't I trust? Etc., etc., etc. Where are the experts? Generally, you find that people who are making money from investing do not want to tell you about investing. because they feel as though you might capture the market and take some of the money that they're making. Okay? So there's kind of a dog thing. Sometimes in investing in the first person, there gets the most money and all those kind of things happen, right? So I can understand your fear, your trepidation in relation to getting involved in investing, and then it's a risk really, and the risk increase. The risk tend to increase when there's no knowledge, and I'm going to leave that on the board because that's very important. You can still see that, yeah? Good. So the risk increase when there's no knowledge. Stay with me, please. Okay, I'm going to help you today. The risk increase when there's no knowledge. So we know that the 2,087 billionaires in the world, they're making their money from investing, and a lot of people don't invest because they say it's too risky. And I want you to understand the risk increase when the knowledge decrease. Knowledge decrease, risk increase. Knowledge decrease, risk increase. Okay? Please bear that in mind. That's going to make sense in a couple of minutes. So investing is important. And as I said, most people say, well, I don't have money to invest. That's for rich people. I want to tell you that's not true. Investing is not for rich people. Rich people get rich because they invest. So you may say you have no money. And you may say you have no time. And you may say you have no knowledge. D-G-E, come on, Coulthrust. Good. And you may say you have no support. These things are very, very legitimate. Okay? So you may have, just keep me on time. How much time do I have? Don't want to run out of time. Okay, how long have we been going so far? Okay, good. Right, so you may say I have no support, I have no money, I have no time, I have no knowledge. These are reasonable things. Okay, are we on track? We good? Good. Have no time, have no support, have no money. Okay? All these things are reasonable because remember, if these are also things, I said if you have no knowledge, the risk increase. But if you have no support, risk also increase. But if you have no money, there's no need to take any risk, right? If you have no time, risk increase. So all of these things are important. You cannot invest to make money if you do not have any money. Are we good? Good, thank you. Okay. So I want you to pay attention to these things because these are questions that go around in our heads. Where's the support? Who are the people to help me? Okay, I don't have all of that money. These people are billionaires. These people are millionaires. It takes a lot of money to make a lot of money, and then I have no time. Right? Where am I going to get the time to do all that and research all this information? I know it's on YouTube. I know it's on the net. How am I going to get it? How am I going to put it together? That's a lot, and who do I ask if I don't understand? All these things are important, okay? So I'm going to deal with that. I'm going to leave that on the board because it's going to become important. I'm going to answer all of that. So we're talking about investing. So you may ask yourself, what do I invest in? Well, most people will begin to say, well, buy land. But land is the type of investment that takes a long time. That's a long-term investment. It's a viable investment. That's a long-term investment. But the trouble with investing in land is that you have to have money, a lot of money. Don't let me say money. A lot of money, thousands and thousands of dollars. And if you're living in some places in the world, millions to invest in land. Good. I hope that some person comes along and buys it. Just hopes. Then there are other people who invest in things like mutual funds. And then, if you really want to begin to make the big bucks, people go for the stock exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, which is the largest stock exchange in the world. They just generate a huge amount of money. People make crazy wealth off the New York Stock Exchange. But once again, you have to have quite a bit of money sometimes, and you have to have the time, you have to have the knowledge, you have to have the support in the form of brokers. You say, God, how am I going to do all this? Right? Traditional education then kicks in and tells you, it's easy to go look for a job. But then there's another form of investment and that you can consider that is a huge market. I'm going to say huge. Let me give you a comparison. If you can think about this, if the New York Stock Exchange. Well, let me just draw this on the board right here. Okay. So if the New York Stock Exchange is like, if you have a bar chart, right? And the New York Stock Exchange is like here. So this is New York, right here. Okay? Then the market that I'm telling you about is like this. Okay? So there are people who are making money because they have support, they have time, have money, they have knowledge. People who are making time, please pay attention to this chart. There are people who are making time off money off the New York Stock Exchange, the London Stock Exchange, all these different stock exchanges, and it's right here, right down here. Okay? But then there are other people who are making a tremendous amount of money off of this market right here. I'm going to tell you about this in a minute. Well, this market is an amazing market because it's a wonderful time to get involved in this market. Up until 4 years ago, 3 years ago, you had a net worth of $3 million to get involved in this market. This is one of the reasons why people say, I don't have the money. Then, in addition to that, you had to pay about $10,000 to $15,000. Just write that there, $10,000 to $15,000 to get the knowledge. So a lot of people didn't have the knowledge, all right, to get this, nor the investment to make it, because you had to have a net worth of over $3 million, and you had to pay between $10,000 to $15,000 US to just begin to learn this thing. And then you weren't even taught everything. You had to go look for broker and those type of things, and et cetera, et cetera. So this market is worth, I'll just put this in here. I want to put it in red. This market is worth 5.3 trillion. Well, that's what trades in. 5.3 trillion US dollars per day. 5.3 trillion US dollars per day. This market trades in. Okay? For 5.5 days per week. Remember before you had to have $10,000 to $15,000 US dollars to learn this market, have a net worth of just about $3 million to get involved in it. 5.3 trillion US dollars per day, 5.5 days a week, this money is being traded. Okay? What is this market called? What is this market that several of the billionaires are involved in? Several people around the world, the millionaires are involved in. Several people are making money off of it. What is this market called? This market that now you don't have to be worth $3 million. And now you don't have to fork out $10,000, $10,000 to $15,000 to learn it. What is this market called? This market that you now have, in order to get into it, you can get some support. You don't need to have a large amount of money. You don't need to have a large amount of time. And you can gain a huge amount of knowledge and get into this market and increase your chances of winning, because now you begin to not eliminate but reduce your risk. Because, as I said, you have support. Okay? You can get in with a small amount of money. You can get in with a limited amount of time. And now you begin to develop the knowledge. Now you begin to reduce your risk and increase your chances of what? What are we going to put here? You increase your chances of winning and earning. While you are learning. So while you're increasing your knowledge level to trade in this market, while you're beginning to earn from trading in this and winning, you begin to develop a residual income, okay, that can help you when you get to this age, and even help you way before that. Okay? So I hope you got that, because it's a lot of mess there, but I hope you have that, where I'm going with this. So you should begin to ask yourself now, if I have the opportunity to get into a market that can cause me to develop an adequate residual income plan, where I can invest, and now I have support, I do not have to invest loads of money, I don't have to have loads of time, and I can develop the knowledge base. I don't have to have this $10,000 to $15,000 to earn it. I don't have to have this net worth of $3 million to get involved in it. What is this? What is this market? Well, I'll tell you. This market, I'm not even going to take that 5.3 trillion US dollars per day for 5.5 days a week that dwarfs the New York Stock Exchange. What is this market? This market is the 4X market, or what we call the foreign exchange market. The Forex market, or the foreign exchange market, trades in 5.3 trillion US dollars per day for 5.5 days a week. And I'm telling you that the billionaires, multi-millionaires across the world has been taking, getting their education, investing in this market, making money. The banks across the world for years have been taking savings from their customers and investing it in this market through their traders and making money because they understand the value of this market. But up until a couple of years ago, this is what you would have needed to be. $3 million in net worth, having an education of $10,000 to $15,000 and over to learn it, and that was inaccessible for the average individual. It was inaccessible for the average individual because the average individual doesn't have this $10,000 to $15,000 to invest in learning this. The average individual is not worth $3 million. So you know what? Those people who had access to this kind of money made money from this market, 5.3 trillion US dollars on average per day. So that's why the rich were getting richer and the poor were either getting poor or staying where they are because of access to opportunities. I told you about that earlier. Having access to opportunities and understanding them. So I have all this stuff on the board, showing you different principles so that we'll begin to help you to begin to entertain the concept, changing your mindset. How do I begin to develop an adequate residual income plan? So I'm going to press a bit further. So now you know that it is possible to get into this Forex market and have support with little money, not having a whole lot of time, gain knowledge, increase your chances of earning, increase your chance of winning, reduce your risk, learn while you're doing that, and earn money towards your retirement, towards your holidays, towards your vacation, to buy what you want to buy, help you buy what you want to buy, add to your current income, even overtake your current income if you're willing to put in that kind of work, and learn. And this is a skill that you can pass on to your children and to your children's children and all those other kind of things. Okay, good. So I'll talk a lot about this earning, that type of thing. So what I want to introduce you to, and I'm going to put my telephone number right here so you can give me a call. If you're overseas and you're seeing this, please call me 246-826-5668. You can call me. My name is, what is my name?
David Coulthrust.
David Coulthrust. Okay. So we can teach you the skill. How do you got that? Okay, they're telling me to move. That's DAVID COULTHRUST.
Write it in black.
Write it in black. It's better. Okay. So my producer is telling DAVID.
Yeah, you can see that.
This one is better.
Yeah.
COULTHRUST. That's good. Good. All right, and this is 246-826-5668. Please, you can, and if you're overseas, just put a 1 in front of that. Give me a call, WhatsApp me. I'm on Facebook, David Coulthrust. I'm on Facebook. You can private message me so that I can teach you this. I'll press it a bit further in a second. But if you're really serious about developing an adequate residual income plan and getting involved in the market that can make you some serious money without having to spend a whole lot of time initially getting involved in that, without having to while developing a knowledge base, as I said to you, the knowledge reduces your risk. Have a support system. You're learning. And the investment is nominal. I want you to give me a call. I'm going to say something to you just before we close. Please contact me if you're serious, if you understand either retirement is coming up or you're not close to retirement, but you're tired of just working a job alone. You're not making enough money. Things are getting bad. You're tired of just saving your money on the banks. Making 5 cents interest per year on your $100 or whatever you're making. If you're tired of that, you see that saving is not enough. Investing in traditional things are not enough. I want to teach you another way that you can make it by investing in the foreign exchange market, where you have, as I said, it's outside of any one economy. You can make a lot of money on this if you're willing to put in the work. The risk are there, like any other investment. I want to plug that in. But listen to me, okay? It's working for a lot of people, and it's an amazing opportunity. Just before I go, let me tell you something, okay, about this opportunity. And I'm going to finish by telling you who I am. And I deliberately left that to the last part. Okay, so you might be wondering, so who's this guy? Who's this guy, stalking and who's this guy? Okay, telling me about investing and the importance of investing and this type of thing. And who's this guy? All right, what does he know? I know I found this opportunity, that's the first thing. But let me go a bit further to tell you who David Coulthrust is. You guys told me to write in black, right? Then I'll finish. So, my profession, I'm a pharmacist. I've been a pharmacist for, oh gosh, I feel like it's been forever. I've been a pharmacist for 20 years. And I have my associate degree. Is that right? Okay. In applied science. I have my degree in psychology. And I have my MBA. I have my master's, business administration. I should have done my CXCs in English like you could forget no right. And I am an entrepreneur. And I've been an entrepreneur for, how old am I? Yeah, for about 30 years. I've been involved in entrepreneurship. And I'm 46 years old. So I just want to share that with you because in all of this time, I never was educated about the importance of investing. I never heard of the foreign exchange market up until a couple of months, several months ago. I didn't know these things. I am sure there are many of you who will see this video who are very, very educated, or you're in school, and I thought if I got all of this that I will be earning a whole lot more. But it doesn't always work out like that. Okay? So if you're very, very serious about earning additional money, you're all this, you're some of this, you're none of this, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you want to earn additional money. Just talk to me. Give me a call. 826-5668. Put 246 at the beginning of that. Because I have been in school for 41 years. And I have pursued my education as each and every one of you should. But I was never taught how to invest, and I certainly was not taught how to invest in the foreign exchange market, where several financial institutions take our savings and put it in. So if you're serious about your financial future, if you're serious about getting more time with your spouse, with your children, if you're serious about accomplishing your dreams, if you want to entertain something else, if you want to change your mindset, if you do not change your mindset, you will not change your life. I'm telling you today, I went through all of that to get to this point. If you are serious, I only want to talk to those people who are serious. If you're serious, if you're sick of just working and there being more mouth than money, the bills are heaping up and you do not know where you're going to get the next dollar from. If you're serious about beginning to change that, I want you to give me a call. I found an opportunity that can work for you, where we can teach you to trade in Forex. You have the support. You do not have to invest a heap of time or a heap of money. I'm telling you, this opportunity is working not only for myself, but for hundreds of other people in Barbados, where I am, thousands of other people across the world. Give me a call at 246-826-5668 if you're outside of Barbados. If you're inside of Barbados, drop the 246. Give me a call. My name is David Coulthrust. I have spent 41 years studying, and I'm going to show you how you can make money and change your life forever. Thank you for listening. Have an amazing 2018, and this is the time to get involved right now to change your life. Shout me up, hook me up, private message me, WhatsApp me. Don't waste any time. Get involved now. Looking forward to hearing from you so that we can talk. God bless you. Have a wonderful year.